What's good, family? What's good? It's your boy, Urban Sports Guru. I hope y'all like what's happening in the NBA playoffs. I like it very much. I like what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of competition, which I like. And what it makes me really like, and I said this in the beginning of the season, there are no super teams. The Clippers are not a super team. The Lakers are not a super team. The Bucks are not a super team. You know what I'm saying? No, there's no super teams. I think in the future, look out for Denver. Look out for Denver in the future, another year or two. That's something else. But there are no super teams, so anybody can get it. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can get it. And what I like is, like last night, I predicted the Lakers would win the series in seven. 'Cause I figured Portland would push them. Would push them hard. But the two-headed monster, LeBron and AD, would be too much. Last night we saw the two-headed monster of LeBron and AD. And the fact that the Lakers have now won the last two games, Portland Trailblazers have to respond. They have to respond tomorrow in Game 4. They have to respond, because if not, it's over in 5. Then they won't even push the 6 games. It'll be over in 5. Because I knew LeBron would have free reign, even though there are times throughout Carmelo Anthony's career, being the big Melo fan that I am, that I don't think Melo's gotten the credit for D'ing up LeBron the way he has throughout his career. Like, he D's up LeBron very well. But at this point in his career, he can't really stay in front of guys like LeBron anymore. Even though things get ratcheted up when he plays against LeBron. And you saw that last night in the third quarter. It was like, okay, LeBron was going on, fuck this, give me the ball. I'm putting foot to ass, give me the ball. And he did that. You know, Melo time. You know what I'm saying? He did like 13 or 15 in the third quarter alone. You know, that's what he do. But I predicted that the Lakers eventually win that series for the simple fact of LeBron having free reign. Will have free reign to just do what he needs to do offensively. I anticipated them being able to make AD work. AD's going to get his numbers, but they're going to make AD really, really work for it. They're going to make AD work on the other end as well, because Nurkic, when he's going hard, he's going to make AD work. You know, when Whiteside, who's still a force defensively and on the backboards, when he's D'ing up, he's going to make AD work. AD can get his on anybody, but Whiteside's a guy, when he's on, he's going to make him really, really work for it. But if they don't respond in Game 4, it's over in 5 games. Gentlemen sweep. We've seen the Clippers respond. I understand the Dallas Mavericks right now feeling like, damn, we should be up 2-1. And they should. They should. That was some bullshit they did to Porzingis. They should be up 2-1. But guess what? They're not. They're down 2-1. And since they're down 2-1, they have adjustments that they have to make. Last night we saw the Clippers defense. The night before, we saw the Clippers defense finally show up. We saw the Clippers defensively on the perimeter show up and be the squad that we envisioned them being. Where the reason why I thought the Clippers were vulnerable, and it still may end up being vulnerable, is so many moving parts that you have to fit in and piece in. They still have to bring Patrick Beverley back up for injury, and they're working back in Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams, and like it's too much of that. Instead of just having everybody on deck, let's go. You know, their depth is a great thing because they're so deep. You know, they moved Landry Shamet to the starting lineup, and his defense and his three-point shooting was a big, big help. And nobody's talking about this, and we didn't see it throughout the entire game, but Kawhi Leonard taking the challenge and guarding Porzingis. Kawhi Leonard, what, 6'7", maybe 6'8"? Porzingis is 7'3". And Kawhi Leonard said, I got him. No, I got him. Everybody's talking about Luka. Luka's being Luka. Luka's going to get his all. But what I noticed on both ends of the floor, the difference maker, not belittling Luka. What Luka has done is great, but the difference maker on both ends of the floor has been the bigs, particularly Porzingis, of the Dallas Mavericks. And I didn't see before Game 3. I didn't see the Clippers really adjusting to that. I saw how Porzingis changed everything defensively. Even the shots he couldn't get to, he's just altering and forcing bad ones. He's forcing the Clippers to just stay outside of the paint and on the perimeter. And screen and roll is just such an easy, drop off to him. And that part of the game didn't change once Boban comes in. Because Boban comes in, he's a hard screener. He's a fucking mountain of an individual. Hard screener. And after that, he just rolls. Once he's in the paint, he holds the ball up. There's nothing you can do. Nothing. So you just got to, push him out as far as you can and hope he miss. If he can't, just dunk it. So Game 3, I finally saw the adjustment. Just the whole point with the Lakers and Clippers is the consistency. The Lakers have not been consistent in the bubble. Let's call it what it is. So that's where the that's where the Trailblazers still have hope, because the Lakers have not been consistent, even though they won the last 2 games. This dominant two-headed monster has not been consistent. They got good contributions from the others, but they win on the model of a dominant two-headed monster, and everybody plays off of that. That's how they win games. So last night we saw that show up, but it hasn't been consistent enough in the bubble. If it's not consistent, then the Trailblazers can stretch the series. Now, the Clippers have not been consistent for the simple fact they have so many moving parts. They don't have the dominant two-headed monster. We have 2 great players, and we got a whole bunch of slew of other players that can do some of what the 2 great players do, that we all contribute. And when you have that model, and there's always somebody missing, or you're supposed to come and be able to do this part, you're supposed to come in and do that part, but then someone's always missing that someone else has to make up for it. They can make up for it to a degree, but they can't make up for it all the time. Yes, they need Paul George to play better. But I don't think it would, on the offensive end, Paul George's shooting roles is not going to mean the difference in this series. In future series against the Lakers, yes, they're going to need Paul George to be Paul George. Not just on the defensive end like he did against Luka in Game 3. No, they're going to need him to be putting on 28, 29 points per game and shooting for a good percentage along with Kawhi. Because Kawhi is going to be Kawhi regardless, whoever the fuck he's going up against. It is what it is. The man's a robot. You know what I'm saying? I'm interested in seeing now how far the other 2 series go in the West. That's what I'm interested in seeing. The East series probably even get to that. The East series, okay, Toronto, I've never spoken about that really because I don't need to talk about that. Toronto is essentially playing against a lot of replacer players on the Nets. That's a sweep, nothing to talk about. Boston, I already told y'all how that was going down. Nothing to talk about there. Milwaukee, they got shocked. Milwaukee's gonna have time to get their shit together. Use this series to get their shit together for the more tougher series. Like next series, I think they'll be looking at. Who is Milwaukee looking at coming next series? They're looking at Miami. They're gonna need to get their swag up for Miami because Miami's coming to play. Miami's coming to play. They coming to play. They some rough riders. They coming to ball. So get their swag up, get themselves ready for this next series. Now back to the West. I'm interested in seeing the pushback now in the other 2 series in the West, because those series looking to me like it's going to be even better than what I expected. Denver is so loaded in talent, and guys like Michael Porter Jr., I think this year is getting valuable experience. But at the end of the day, this is still kind of Joker's and Jamal Murray's team right now. So I want to see what's their pushback to what Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley Jr. did to them, along with Rudy Gobert. I want to see what's their pushback, what's their response. We've seen what's Chris Paul's response, and it looked like, okay, we can handle this without Russ. I'm surprised, though, saying the first 2 games Rockets smoked them like that, but you know what I'm saying? If the Thunder win Game 4, I think you better bring Russ back. I'm just saying. Thunder win Game 4, I think you better bring Russ back. because at the end of the day, James Harden's still the best player in that series. But they have a lot, like the young kid from Arizona State defending them very well. But then again, James Harden is all about how many calls is he going to get. Point blank, period. He can dance on you, do all that, but if he's doing that and getting every single call, you can't guard that motherfucker. You can't even try. You can't even try. So I'm interested in those two series. I want to see what's the pushback in those two series. I anticipate that because those two series, no matter which way they go, all the games are going to be great games. All the games are going to be within 6-8 points, no matter where the series ends. That's why both could end up being 7-game series. Get your popcorn ready. It's your boy, Urban Sports Guru. I'm out. Salute.